Good evening and welcome to another scene in London Ascending, a vampire venue. Tonight we started a scene near the former home of Oscar Wilde. Um, the woman known as Laura Solholm. It's just approaching, making sure that her lovely clothing and lovely dress is just sitting just right. And she seems somewhat confident in that and has a smile on her face. And she will go up and knock on the door.
Door is answered by a smart gentleman in a tuxedo um, with white gloves, and he smiles and he says, Lady Solholm, please come in.
Thank you.
And he will take her coat, if she has one, and that sort of thing, and do the general sort of butler thing of, escorting her in, offering her a drink, that sort of thing.
Mm. And she will accept and go into the beautiful salon. And is Camilla there when she enters?
She is. She's standing, wearing a sort of. It's almost. It looks like a military uniform, actually. Of you guess the First World War. It's not the suit she was wearing earlier on in the night. And she's standing in front of an old-fashioned. Now the player's completely lost what that thing's called. Record player, you know.
Yeah, gramophone.
Gramophone, and she has it. She clicks it. It's clicked on, and it's playing a song called "They Can't Take That Away From Me" by Ella Fitzgerald. Sort of 1940s esque style jazz music, and she's looking at it spin as Laura enters the room.
Good evening.
She looks up and smiles. Lady Solholm, welcome.
Thank you. I hope I'm. I hope you are all right after tonight's duties.
The Queen's will.
Obviously. She will just take a seat and they're not too close, but she will just get as close as possible. And she just, please, sit down.
She sits down, folds her hands on her lap. Camilla never looks relaxed at the best of times, but she's trying her best not to sit really stiffly. She's trying to look natural in her seating.
A uniform you owned, or a something with sentimental value?
Oh, the uniform. I needed to change after tonight's punishment was carried out, and it's been some time since I wore this. So it was my officer's dress many years ago.
Indeed. You were an officer.
During the what they now call the First World War. Yes.
Laura seems to turn her chair. Yeah, I'm guessing it's like leather chairs, like
Yeah, it's like a chaise long, and then there's a couple of like armchairs as well.
you fought in the Great War.
I did.
Laura will move closer to you. And she says, really? How? I mean, on the Allies side?
Yes, I It was evident. It was evident to me at the time that certain members of the enemy were manipulating German officers, and I positioned myself to eradicate their threat from.
But, um, well, well, that is certainly true. Um, I Had I been in another place at the time, I could have done the same. Well, they would not have allowed me, but how did they allow you to become an officer, no less?
Camilla reaches. She does something she wouldn't normally do, but considering um, she's in a particularly what's the word, reminiscent mood this evening. She stands up and she goes to a cabinet and she takes out a photograph. The photograph is of the same uniform, the a sort of familiar backdrop of the London street. The person in the uniform is familiar. The eyes are the same. It seems to be a man, but the you recognise it as being Camilla, just seemingly in a male guise.
No, you are a true testament to the blood of your clan. An artist. Quite few could make such a compelling transformation. I would not be able to do it justice. He smiles and hands you the photo. I thought you were. You are a warrior, but apparently you are much more than that. She smiles at her. She's, oh, that explains it.
We all do our different parts to service Camarilla. She says, putting the photo down on the table. I'm sure you have your talents.
A few.
And a woman of your exceptional beauty does not survive for as long as you have without being formidable in many other ways that I could not plan to master.
Thank you for your kind words. Uh, you can plan to master them. Whether or not you do it is another matter, but no. You must have some quite horrifying stories, I suppose, and some glorious ones.
I think at our time of life, we all have both in equal measures horrifying stories and beautiful ones. We've seen we've seen the birth and death of centuries.
We have, but quite few conflicts in human history are what the Great War was.
There's a very slight look of emotion that crosses Camilla's face when she says that. Camilla's quite stoic, but there is a very brief flicker of sadness. Quite so.
I apologize. I should not pry. It's unbecoming.
Don't apologise. It's after this evening's events, it's pleasant to have a civilized conversation. Since my child left Paris to continue her work, I've been absent of civilized conversation. It seems.
Well, we must rectify that. She smiles to her. Yeah, sad to hear that. Although I am by my duty as RP, I must at least attend to that and inform you, of course. And she smiles again. It was that bad, the punishment.
It is not how I believe. Well, the Queen's will and the Seneschal's will are their will, and I will serve in the way that they tell me to serve. My personal issues are, my personal beliefs are not part of the Queen's will.
It's true. We all have our
Personally,
personal opinions. For instance, sometimes I see people and I might have the opinion that they enjoy certain parts of their work a little too much. That's,
I do not take relish in suffering. Personally, if I am to carry out an order or a punishment, I will do it swiftly and effectively. But I am not. Well, I suppose it's a contradiction. I am a killer. I've killed many, but I'm not a.
well,
I'm not a torturer. It is not my particular road of beliefs.
contrary to popular belief, there are gentlemen in war. There are very few of them, and they stand out because they are also very, very few and far between. But they are there.
The Queen gave Seneschal Garnet the full reign of choosing his own punishment, which he did so, and I believe that Sebastian has now learned what it's like to get on the wrong side of the cracked mirror.
Right. So, uh,
I would caution that perhaps if we joined forces to begin a coterie, that we might tempt the court towards more civilized behaviour in the future.
yeah, that would surely help us in conversing.
My traitors and defilers must be punished, but I do not believe in letting ourselves give in to debauched practices that tempt the nature of our inner monsters, shall we say.
Mm, quite so. When one sees such things, uh, one does question whether or not the people around oneself are truly in control,
Mm.
or if they put a little too much enjoyment.
Control is key. We are not animals.
Do not take this the wrong way. She smiles uh, at her and just says, but too much control can be, uh, it can result in someone who does not seem to be very, very willing to smile. And she tilts her head a little bit and smiles quite upgiving at her. She's just, I've been around military people. You are at home. You can relax.
Camilla does smile a little. It's a little bit more genuine.
See, that wasn't so hard. I'm sorry, I tease. That's no.
You can see there's quite a lot going on there. Camilla's body language and her face are quite still, but her eyes are a dead giveaway, as the eyes of most people are. Um, you can see this sort of cogs ticking. She does smile and she reaches for the decanter with the blood in it with her gloved hand and pours herself a drink.
Laura just sits there, watches it, and smiles. So, you and I will work together with. Do you have others in mind?
Hmm. She leans back. She sort of looks thoughtful. Perhaps your clanmate, Mr. Holst.
But are we to assume that there is already a, what shall we call it, working understanding between some of the uh, recently victorious people?
I wouldn't be surprised if Mr. Peck, Seneschal Garnet, and Keeper Lorne worked together and form a coterie, seeing as they were successful the last time they collaborated.
Well, if there isn't, they will. You're quite correct. They will do it rather soon. Ah, nothing wrong with that. Um, were any of them to offer it, though, I'm not quite sure what to make of it. Mr. Garnet is the keeper, and I'm quite sure he'll serve the city well. Queen of License, him. He seems to be serious about his duty. But I cannot help but feel a bit of concern for his sake. He seems rather joyful at the thought of dealing out a punishment that he could dictate. I'm not sure that's a person I would. He will serve the city well.
The Queen's choice is the Queen's choice.
Quite so.
As long as he serves the Camarilla, I will hold no grudges. Camilla looks at Laura for a moment. Just sort of, she studies her for a second, and then takes a sip of her drink.
Laura will just get up and slowly begin to walk around. And just check out and look at this beautiful decor and how the place is set up. Just look around, smile.
There's lots of books, and the record player, an old-fashioned telephone, um,
I
a
remember
picture.
these. She points and smiles at the phone.
I still haven't moved to the digital ones, apart from one I have for emergencies.
They're quite handy if you have the time to the patience to get into it. It is quite impressive.
Above the fireplace, there are two crossed swords. There's a couple of photographs of the woman you recognise as being Ariana, one of which you've seen before. Another one is a photograph that looks like it was taken a bit later, perhaps in the 1970s.
Hmm. That is her childhood. Uh, is she like very beautiful, or is
Yeah,
it?
she's very, very beautiful. She's parents four with a specialisation in, I think Raina said it's striking or unusual looks.
Hmm.
She stands out. She's got uh, raven black hair, uh, steel blue eyes, um, and she's sort of exotic looking. She does stand out in the photographs. The photographs almost sort of penetrate out.
Laura will just stand there and look, consider this. Well, it seems as you have chosen well. She's extremely beautiful.
Unlike some, it was not only her beauty that intrigued me.
Of that I'm quite sure. I really look forward to you introducing me.
I'm afraid that will not be anything that will happen anytime soon.
Well, we can hope that the time will come.
Until the Queen is quite satisfied, I doubt that she will be able to return to London.
I apologize if I rubbed an old wound, but what exactly happened?
Ariana and the Queen have never quite seen. Do you know that the problem when two women are rather alike?
Ah, like
The Queen,
Laura just turns a little
yeah,
towards you and just say no more. I'm quite confident I know the problem.
the Queen was concerned that it was common thought that I considered Ariana more beautiful than she, which is not the case. Obviously, the Queen is the most beautiful among us. But beauty is not a one-faceted
Exactly.
thing, as all Toreador know. Beauty
It
can
is
be
in,
appreciated in many ways.
and it is in the eye of the beholder. No?
Mm. He nods.
Maybe not been something you advertise to people, but honestly, if you prefer one over the other, truly they cannot. The one who's chosen should just be happy. The other one cannot be that upset over it.
Joanna walks up to the photograph that you're looking at in particular, and she says, "The Queen is my Queen. I will serve her beyond all things when until I no longer take part in this life." She has no question about my loyalty, but she knows that a Toreador of my ilk is not fashioned for beauty in the way that she is. But I was able to create one thing that gained me acclaim, And perhaps I shouldn't cling to my achievements a little so much. But I'm proud of my creation, as is Asiah's right.
Laura will just turn to you and grab your hand, and just again she will grab it with both hands and just seems somewhat serious as she just looks at you and just looks down at the gloved hand. It seems as though she might want to try to take the glove off, but she stops because she's not gonna force it. But just
Camilla looks at her grabbing the glove, like, not in a, like, what the hell are you doing kind of way, but in a sort of curious way. Like, sort of like, what are you doing? But she doesn't make a move to stop her. She just sort of looks at her kind of curiously.
listen to me. This is something I've learned, and she will just slowly slide the glove off and just touch her skin to just feel it. And just say, listen, those things that even in our age drives us passion, that which can tuck at our emotions, that is what we should hold on to. Why should you not hold on to your creation? This is something that you obviously care for, so you should hold on to it as much as you can, despite however painful it might be or whatever. You should relish it every day. And at this point, she's the glove. She's taken the glove off, and she's holding with both hands your arm, and she just uh, at least that is my opinion. And she, oh, I'm terribly sorry. And she will just try to give you the glove back. What role is that?
It's a self-control.
The difficulty is no.
The difficulty is 5,000. Camilla,
Can I make a perception empathy roll?
you can. Can I bother to contest it? I haven't got a high dice pool for that. I will try.
Perception empathy. That's 2 successes.
You don't know. There's definitely a look in her eye. It's something. She's giving you a kind of a quite intense look. It's not an angry look. But it's quite intense, like she's sort of staring. And she, when you take the glove off, at first she coiled her hand back, not to snatch it away from you, but sort of as if she's not used to physical contact.
Laura will just say, do you understand what I'm saying? I'm sorry. I'm what a terrible guest I am. I should. There's just some things I've become somewhat insistent about, and such a thing. I mean, you are lucky enough to have your child still. I don't. It brings me something else to think of that. Is it more or less painful? I don't know. But I cling to it, as I cling to many other things that are maybe not pleasant, painful even, but it's just, it seems so duty and honor bound. I really, really admire it. I really do feel that it's quite unique. There's very few women I meet that are like that. So, but
Camilla's look is significantly softened. She doesn't look so. You've actually caught her off guard. She looks kind of more humane almost in that moment. And she says, "Don't apologise, son. You you're a passionate woman. I can admire that in many ways."
well, about some things, yes, I am.
She's sort of giving her. She's just smile. She smiles. She's just sort of like looking at her like, how fascinating. She's just a bit sort of awestruck. Um, she's I'm not used to people being so frank with me, so
Well, it is one of my very good, one of my many good features. She smiles, a little playful, and she just smiles at her, and we'll just slowly just begin to walk over to the chair again and sit down.
Camilla puts back on her glove, um, and sort of straightens the jacket slightly, and she will go and sit down. And oh, before she sits down, she'll change the record. It's gone to something else. She turns it over, flips it over, and plays another couple of songs, the same sort of sentimental 1940s style jazz.
So, a coachman, if we were to found one, what would be our goal? Obviously, to defend against the Sabbats, but other than that,
To control the important influences in the city, to maintain the sense of traditionalism and decorum in our Elysiums and elsewhere, which I'm sure is a Harpy's prerogative after all.
that's so.
To be vigilant against our new arrivals. I know the Queen has accepted independence of certain ilks to the city, and as is her will, she will allow them in the court, but we must be careful about outsiders.
That's so.
I've already started my surveillance of those whose loyalties are not set in stone, shall we say.
Hmm. Hmm. Given that the Sabbats number some people who have been here for some time, can we honestly be sure that they are not the only ones?
Precisely.
It would not be
Get
merely independence that could be a potential risk.
However, if we alienate them as well too quickly, they may go to the Sabbat with our secrets. So we must be careful and
Thus far, I don't really have any secrets with them that they can take.
well, they know our faces.
Oh, that's true.
They know some of the places that we choose to congregate. They know some of our clans, which is information enough for an astute general.
Right. But, well, if not control an enormous spy apparatus, but a bit of concern for the people around us would be warranted, perhaps.
Precisely.
Obviously, we're not going to collect blood and have the Tremere test everyone, but not that it would do us necessarily any good. All manner of people around this about, as far as I know.
We just need to be vigilant, and the rest will speak for itself in time.
But,
The Queen brought me here for a reason.
and I'm glad you did.
You flatter me, Lady Solon. I do not deserve your flattery.
Please. Two things. If I was to be pronounced lady, it would be Lady Bardason. But you can call me Nora. It is quite all right. And secondly, I'm merely complimenting you. If I was flattering you and more, you would not be in doubt. But they, well, we never know what's going to happen. She just says with a smile. And she is going to look for a reaction to that.
Damn you with your charisma referencing rolls. Camilla, I can't bother to roll it. Camilla, did you get any successes or no?
I don't believe actually I did, but oh well.
You get the same look again, briefly. It's kind of a I'm trying to think of the best way to describe it without actually showing you what it is. It's quite an intense look. It's definitely the same look she had just now, albeit briefly.
Is there something you'd like to say?
No.
I swear you were practicing with your eyes to see if I could be moved by them or something. She smiles.
Camilla looks slightly embarrassed. She lowers her eyes. I apologise.
No need to apologize. I don't see you've done anything wrong.
Again, civilized company comes rarely. She sits down again.
She's a member of my clan. Maybe Lord Farage. He seems quite honourable, quite reasonable.
He's a good gentleman.
You could hear those two out.
I agree. Perhaps we might offer a few of the other Primogen place. If we are thoughtful enough.
Hmm.
There's plenty of time to deliberate over who we're going to have in our coterie, but I think we should start not petitioning, but start having those conversations within the next couple of days and see where our arrows land.
Hmm. That is perhaps the best.
It may help if we get a good grasp of what it is people want to do. I dare say that they may want me to lead the war effort at some point, but there's no reason why I can't be twin-faceted.
Hmm.
I'm capable of more things than just war. It will startle some to see.
I'm looking forward to seeing that. Any hints? Or am I to guess?
Well, I can turn my hand more gently, should the need arise.
Hmm. Sometimes that's needed. She looks up to those two swords. I'm guessing you do, well, have been doing or still do a lot of fencing.
She smiles. Perhaps you will see a demonstration of my skills at some point.
I would appreciate that.
Are you proficient in the blade yourself?
A bit. She smiles. You don't even need to roll. You can see that she's probably somewhat well trained. She seems a bit confident with that.
Camilla just. I'm not going to make you roll for anything. Camilla just, her eyes light up like. It's the most animated you've ever seen her. She notices that look and her eyes light up like with a.
Perhaps we could have a training together at some point.
I think that would be marvellous.
Practice never hurt anymore.
Camilla indicates to the scar on her. There's a small, neat scar on her left cheek. No, not seriously.
Hmm. A story for another night.
Woefully, Camilla looks at the clock as it chimes. Yes, unfortunately, the hour of slumber grows near.
Hmm. Yeah, it's been an absolute pleasure. And Laura will go up and curtsy, uh, looking as she's done it 1,000 times, very well
Camilla,
mannered, and just bow.
Camilla bows in response. Um, and she will see her to the door herself. Um, it's probably about 4 in the morning at this point. It's about an hour and a half to get home before sunrise, but it's late enough.
Hmm.
She says you're welcome to this place anytime you wish.
I thank you very much, and I look forward to having a more civilized conversation. And she smiles, and she will walk off. And as she leaves the place, we will end our scene. Thank you very much, players, for playing, and watchers for watching. Good night.